What is up, YouTube? Third Impact here to review the fourth episode of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, titled Tower Grey. Now, in the first episode's description for my video, I mentioned the animation and if they'd be able to keep it up and keep it as consistent as it was in the first few. And last episode, there wasn't a whole lot of crazy stuff they had to animate, but in this episode, episode 4, I felt as though it was a little bit more reminiscent of the 2012 JoJo anime series as far as the animation's concerned. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely stood out to me as being maybe one of the weaker episodes of the 4 that we've seen so far. At the same time, however, I felt as though this animation style really helped express how ridiculous and silly the situation that was going on the plane actually was. For starters, it's a little funny seeing Tower Grey, just sort of this, like, still of this bug, just sort of zooming around. And for this whole thing being extreme speed, faster than Star Platinum, it didn't always look like he was moving that fast. He was just sort of floating around, sort of buzzing around. And I thought that was really funny because they're always just gasping and being so amazed at how fast this thing is. But really, from an animation perspective, it didn't really look all that intimidating. But I almost thought that added to the ridiculousness of the scene. And just for how ridiculous this bug that's flying around is, I just love the little asides that they have to express how powerful they are. Just like the stand user saying, even if you fired 10 guns 1 centimeter away from me, I'd still be fine. Just those super precise measurements of strength and the sorts of feats that they'd be able to pull off just get me every time. And they're also keeping with the idea that when it's dark or eerie or whatever, all of the colors get changed or inverted. And me and a bunch of my buddies, when Magician's Red was summoned on the plane and it was all greeny blue with like greeny blue fire, we were like, what? But hey, that's JoJo. That's going to happen a lot, I'm sure. It was so good how Kakyoin interfered in the fight and told Jotaro and Abdul to lay off because, you know, the tiniest bit of fire or Star Platinum strength could break a hole in the fuselage or cause some commotion on the plane. But Harry Fant Green is like, Emerald Splasher! Just firing giant crystals everywhere. Apparently hitting absolutely nothing, doing no damage to the plane, not hitting any passengers, not waking up anybody. And the way that it's expressed, the way that he yells it, how there's just like waves and colors and just all this shit just flying everywhere, yet apparently from the perspective of like all the people that are just asleep in their chairs, like they're not even noticing all this stuff going on. It's like clearly there's a bit of a commotion going on here, and that was the main thing that stood out to me in this episode, was just this craziness that's going on in this plane and just how completely oblivious everybody who isn't aware of stand powers is. It's just crazy. And Tower Grey, just a weird stand. It's really sadistic how its thing is that it rips out its enemies' tongues, and then it writes the word massacre on the wall in the tongue's blood. It's like, okay. But I just loved how the narrator even was like, massacre! This word's meaning to kill everyone! It's like, oh my god. Just amazing. Just everybody in the room that was watching that episode that I was with just laughed so hard at that part. That was so great. And one other problem that I have with the episode, however, Kakyoin obviously sets up a trap, takes out Tower Grey, even with its speed. You know, lays traps. Speed means nothing to traps, I guess. And when Tower Grey's stand user is dying, telling them how Dio has all these plans and that there's stand users out there that they're not even going to be able to comprehend, and he's dying, and the blood's going everywhere. There was times where, like, half the screen was just black from the censoring, and, like, that really bothers me. I know that it's going to look amazing and all fine in the Blu-rays, but that's a long ways off, and I know it's just to be expected. The original JoJo was a lot like this, too, but nothing in the entire 2012 JoJo series was censored to the extent of just this random scene of this guy gushing blood, just talking about Dio. So hopefully it doesn't interfere with the TV broadcast too much, and they can still show some pretty sweet stuff. But, you know, check out the Blu-rays and buy them, because I'm going to be buying them. I'm going to buy the 2012 Blu-rays as soon as I can get them. So buy the Blu-rays. And besides the main action of this episode, we also just get some more JoJo goodness with Joseph referencing the fact that that's the third plane crash that he's been in. Just, you know, building the JoJo world up, referencing these past events, and, you know, reminding you of how awesome Joseph is and the crazy stuff he's been through, even though he may only have spirit photos at the moment. Jotaro telling those stewardesses to screw off, and Kakyoin swooping them in, being a badass. Abdul sitting back all confused, not getting any. That was really funny. And like how I was mentioning in the last episode, how we can have these more slow-paced moments just with conversations between characters and whatnot to really build on the vibe that JoJo goes for. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that is. We got that when they were in Hong Kong. Even though it was like quite a bit of them just talking about different things about Hong Kong, it actually is like somewhat educational. At the same time, it's Kakyoin showing off to them, you know, how he knows the area and how much of a badass he is, and oh, he's so cultured and whatnot. He's being all smug about it, but at the same time, you are learning a little bit about the culture of Hong Kong, and that's a cool thing about JoJo, is you're going to see throughout Stardust Crusaders, them going around to different countries, and you do learn little trivia bits about each place, and it's really interesting. But obviously, the episode ends off with another stand user emerging. It's really ramping up with these reveals, and we see Polnareff and the Silver Chariotto. His rapier comes flying out of the food that they're eating, and Abdul tries to counterattack. He manipulates the flame and makes this flame clock. It's like, what is this? This is bizarre. And this is how he's going to be fighting Abdul in the next episode. So, great way to end the episode, just really showing more craziness between Tower Grey ripping out tongues and writing Massacre, and Silver Chariot making a flame clock. These episodes are only going to get more crazy, so stay tuned for some awesome goodness. Like the stand user for Tower Grey was saying, there's some stand users out there you won't even be able to comprehend. So please stay tuned for more episodes. Leave your comments below. Please like and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace out. I am, sorry, I know that was my little send-off, but as you can see, my desk is gone. I left this stuff up just to make another video too for you guys, but I'm packing it all up. I'm moving to a new place for the summer, so next time you see a video, it'll be at a totally brand new location. Hopefully I'll have some sort of good setup, and I will see you guys soon. Peace out.